No juice.
Robert Earl Dean, we got a great one today. And when I
Oh,
say
yes, we do.
this, the music and the fabric of what's going on right now, I'm saying this Negro right here.
Yeah,
I gotta call him a Negro
yeah.
because
That's a
what?
bad Negro.
Yeah, that this Negro right here. I'm gonna say his music is so delicious
Yeah,
that I want a second helping.
right. Give me a double dose.
Give me a double dose.
Yes.
Who do we got with us today, man?
Ladies and gentlemen, and viewers all over this nation and world, we bring to you the hottest producer out right now in the music industry, period. Take titles off in the music industry, period. But I must say, on the gospel side, this dude probably has like 10 of the top 20 charted songs on Billboard right now. So get ready as you go on a little journey with Dr. Sean Keys. Welcome to the Wake Up Morning Show with Dr. LT and Robert Earl Dean.
What's up, fellas? What's up, man? Thanks for having me, man.
Oh
Look,
man,
look,
this
y'all in one of my favorite states in the whole entire world, man. I love California, man.
come
I
on
love
down,
California.
brother. Tell the
Yes,
family to
yeah.
come on down.
Yes,
I
I
love it.
want to let you know that if you're born in the United States, you're blessed. If you live in California, you're doubly blessed. But if you have a chance to come down to San Diego, you're part of the chosen few.
Yes, sir.
Man, let me tell you, I love San Diego. My wife, a couple of years, got her master's degree from a university out there in San Diego. So we flew up for her graduation.
Wow.
Man, San Diego is probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my entire life.
Amen.
Wow. Tell her she can come back with the family for vacation.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We plan on doing that.
Yes, yes.
So I just want to start off by, I try not to beef with people when they come on.
You do?
But I try, but
Well, we're going to keep on praying and fasting.
okay, cause I got a beef with him.
I know what it
Oh,
is,
Lord.
too. You just get ready. I know what it is. He's a hater.
Brother Sean,
Yes.
I just want to say that, and all the folks that you have worked with, I am still waiting for you to say that I'm coming to San Diego and work with Robert Earl Dean.
Man, you didn't get that track I sent you, man?
No, I didn't get it yet.
Oh,
It's on the way. My faith is on the way.
See,
it's on the way.
see, I had to mix it up because he thought I was gonna go a different direction.
What
Yeah,
I
I
think
did.
what I think you was going to do?
He thought I was gonna talk about my singing career.
What was you using? The beard.
Well, I could tell that his beard is not COVID.
Yeah, but you always talk about everybody else's beard because you ain't been blessed to grow one.
I know, but see, I knew that his beard was not COVID. It's not even a lace front. That's a true bearded brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, since we done got on your beard, you know what I'm saying?
And you can't grow one.
How long have you been rocking a beard? And do you use emollients and berries to make it soft? What'd you do?
Well, I actually been wearing my beard like this probably about the last 4 years now. Yeah, and there is a company, a black-owned business that my wife researched that I, do my beard wash and my exfoliation of my face
Right.
and my moisturizing and all of that good stuff. So yeah, man, I've been rocking this beard for about 4 years now.
So I want to ask you this question. So many times you hear people in the industry, you hear the names like the Kurtz and all and all these singers
Yeah.
out there. And a lot of times people don't talk about the behind the scenes, the people
creators.
that literally put them on. So I want to start off with you. And I like that musical cup, so that's cool. Good prop. But I want to talk to you about the process of being, because I want to say this, sitting back and all the awards you got behind you,
This is Billboard.
and know that God gave you a gift to literally launch people and put people on. Talk about that whole experience.
Yeah, man. I mean, this question comes up a lot when I do interviews, and people ask me, like, what do you like to do better? Like, the established artists or the newcomers? I like them both, but the newcomers, man, are so important and so vital because you have a part, like you said, you have a part of being a part of something from its inception, from the
Yes.
ground up.
Mhm.
You know, so I love working with people that are just getting started. Usually what happens is they'll reach out to me, they'll contact me, hey, Sean, I got some songs that I've been blessed to, that the Lord gave me, and I want you to help me bring them,
Mhm.
to the forefront. Or either they may call and say, hey man, I don't write, but I would love to work with you. Can you write something for me? And we'll get together and brainstorm, and I'll get my team in. I have a team of writers that write stuff with me, and we'll demo a song out and send it back to the artist, and usually they really really love them, and then we'll take it to the next phase of recording. We're actually going to the studio and bring the band in, let them do their piece, bring in my background singers, which I call the A team.
Mhm.
They'll come in and do their part, and then from there we'll bring the artists in and just really make them and treat them like A-list artists, because after all, we're doing this for the kingdom. So everybody's an A-list artist to me.
Amen.
Right.
That's kind of how my process goes. And then from there, we'll go to mixing and mastering. And then, I'll even, and like most producers don't really do this, but I'll stay with an artist from giddy up to woe. So I'll show them how to, get their stuff put on, whatever distributor they want,
Mhm.
if it's CD Baby or DistroKid or
Mhm.
whatever. I help them, walk them through that. I'll get them in contact with someone to do their cover for them, the cover art, put
Wow.
them in touch with a photographer. Because, I always tell them that, the biggest thing about your music sometimes is your presentation, your
Yeah.
cover.
Yes, sir.
Because if the cover doesn't look right, people won't even get to the
We ain't
music.
spending our money.
Exactly. So yeah, man, that's kind of how my process goes. And sometimes it shifts and changes from time to time, but that's basically how it goes. But I love working with indies, newcomers, because man, that's something special. You're there on the ground floor of things.
So let me ask you a question about the eccentric artist that
Uh-huh.
comes to you and say, look, I want people to see my music. So my cover's just going to be black with a little white dot on it. How would you help them? How would you help them to realize that that might not work for them in their first season?
Right.
Well, honestly, I've had a few instances where people had an idea for covers that just didn't really work, and I would just tell them like, listen, you know, even though we are doing this for the Lord and we're doing God's music, you still want to market yourself. So you don't want to put anything other than a picture of yourself on the cover. And you want to get the best representation of yourself as well. You don't want somebody snapping a picture from a Polaroid
Right.
camera and then you put it up there, and then somebody putting some clip art graphics on there,
Right.
and you're like, okay, there's a cover. No, man, no, you wanna make sure that your cover matches your music, and you want to make sure if you're an independent artist, you're a solo artist, or you're an A-list artist, you want that cover to put the best representation of who you are and what song it is. If it's a single or if it's an EP, your songs on the EP, your body of work, you
Mhm.
want that to be best reflected in your cover. So yeah, I had an instance where an artist was like, no, I don't want myself on the cover. I just want the glory of God to be seen. Okay, that's fine too.
Yeah.
She was really, really adamant about it. So, and her cover came out nice. She wasn't. I wanted her to be on the cover, but it didn't go that way. But others, I tell them that, hey man, your face, because people are going to associate.
We're visual.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We are
We're
visual
visual people.
Yes, we
So
are.
when they hear that song and they see your face, they're
Come
going to
on.
be like, oh,
They
that's
equate it.
such and such with
Mhm.
this particular song.
Yep.
That's important.
Well, brother, I've been in the industry for quite some time as an exec, and I want to share my experience with you, and I want you to tell us how you would deal with it, because I kind of dealt with it as a teachable moment, and I always hold it up. But I had told people that there's a process of being signed to a label, and that you need to have a demo, bio, photo, and everything. You submit it, and then the team reviews it.
Mhm.
Now, how would you have dealt with this one? I had the person come and submit the bio. It was written in crayon. Wait a minute. The
Uh-uh.
demo.
You can't
Wait,
be serious.
wait, I'm serious. The demo was done on a karaoke machine.
Huh?
Wait a minute, wait a minute. And here's the last one. And the picture that they submitted was outside our door at our record label. So how would you deal with an artist that submits you something like that?
Well, first and foremost, in the industry, I mean, it's a business, number one. So that person probably wouldn't even get anything heard.
No.
First and foremost, when they see the crayon written stuff, it's probably going in the trash. You know,
It's like security.
I would have, right? You know, it's like I would have probably, as a producer, I see. It's hard to answer that question because with me, I would never let it even get to that where somebody's doing that.
Wow.
But as an exec, honestly, I gotta say it probably would have gone in the trash. And I know it sounds mean, but
No,
it's just certain levels of ways you have to think if you want to be on a certain plateau or a certain level in this industry. If you want to be at a certain level, you have to think on that level.
Correct.
So, you know, if you want your music to reach your neighborhood, like right around your neighborhood, then do it in crayon and do it on the karaoke machine. But if you want your music to reach the masses, you have to do it in a way that's appealing to the masses. Yeah, and that wasn't appealing to the masses.
You can't even use a crown to do a job application.
That's right. You're right.
So in every space of life, there are protocols and the way to do things. So that person would have been looked at as if this is a joke. This is a blooper. This is a blooper. So we'll add it to the blooper.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things about it, I know that sometimes people do things to be creative, but even in the sense of, and I want to say this to artists, even when you are trying to be creative, you also have to realize that it has to be grammatically correct and it has to be appealing. Now, if it would have came in and it looked wonderful, it was grammatically correct, and everything was almost like a publicity stunt to get the attention, you know, if the karaoke demo would have been like the bomb, then it would have been like, okay, this dude, although they sent the karaoke, everything about what it was very creative. We can work with it.
Develop them.
And so let's just talk about, you know, this whole thing. I don't want to beef with you, but I want to say this.
What?
James Maple.
Jesus Christ.
Sister Richardson. Ray-Sean Anderson.
You can stop the pencil right there.
Wait. Yeah, because that Negro.
Dude.
And Kim Person.
Jesus.
Now, I just want to ask you a question. When Jesus blessed you, did he tell you he was going to give you all of our playlists for the day?
They were all hits.
No, man. And it's crazy how, let me tell you something. I really feel like, you know, when you spend time with God, he'll give you stuff that you probably feel like you don't even deserve, man.
Come on.
And it's crazy how all of that just fell in line, man. Kim, let's start from the last person you talked about.
Yes.
Kim Person, somebody I met years ago. We worked together years ago, y'all. And the song Through It All had been recorded years ago, and it was just now that people are getting wind of the song. It was on her project that was #2 on Billboard for sales, right behind Kanye West. And the song was just there. And when she was getting ready to release another single, actually, she was getting ready to start recording a new project. She called me and she was like, "Hey, Sean, I think I'm getting ready to start on a new project." You know, and I was like, "Well, Kim, I think this project you have has a whole lot of life left." So, you know, we started talking and we was like, "Hey, what about Through It All?" She's like, "Oh yeah." And man, the song it was always there, but sometimes, you know, songs kind of get overlooked.
Yes.
But it was always there. And once we started really listening to the song, she was like, "Oh my God, this is my story."
Yes. You
know, and then she has the awesome visual to go with it. So, you know, God just hooked that one up and we linked up, and Uncle G is working at that radio right now. And man, so, you know, it's only a matter of time before that thing pops off and just really becomes one of the top songs in the industry. And then Ray-Sean, oh my God.
Okay,
My God.
stop right there.
My,
I have to use the Negro word again.
Made us hurt ourselves.
That Negro right
I
there.
mean, amazing.
I mean, I'm sorry. Let me stop being country. That young man right there, Father Jesus. So let's talk about that dude.
Let's talk. How'd you meet? How'd you guys get together?
Okay, so it's a funny story, right? So, social media, Facebook, a friend of his reached out to me and said, I have this guy that can sing. He just needs the right producer. And most of the time, when you get a message like that, you know, it's kind of like, okay, let me see what's gonna happen.
Right.
So I said, okay, well, connect me with him. And if you have something that he's done, you know, like maybe some videos on Facebook where and man, when he sent me the clips of Ray Sean singing, I was like, oh my God.
Yes, sir.
Who is this guy?
Yes, sir.
And we got in the studio. And let me tell you, man, Ray Sean actually was nervous. And I'm like, yo, man, what you nervous for, man? You can sing, man. He got in the booth and just like transformed.
Wow.
Into this other cat, man. And with me and the engineer, Reggie, we're sitting there looking at each other like, man, this dude is killing this record. And man, and the rest is history. And man, as a matter of fact, for all of you Clubhousers that are out there that love Clubhouse, we just did we were just on Clubhouse this past Tuesday with Derek Huggins. He has a show called the Indie Help Desk.
Yes.
And there was people like Mita Washington on the panel, Radio Robin on the panel, some other people on the panel, Carlos Hale. And Ray Sean's song, he kept me won the song of the night.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, and everybody's feedback was like, dude, you have a not just a hit, you have a smash hit.
I got chill bumps, man.
Yeah, you know, so, man, and, you know, Ray Sean is amazing. I thank God that, you know, we got connected. And then my bro James made
But I want you to stop there. I got a request. When you get off this interview, I want you to call Ray Sean and tell him if he was in the studio right now, I would pop him on the forehead because that Negro there.
And he's so humble because we developed a friendship since he was on here as an interviewer.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I've been encouraging him because I'm telling you, I'm not just saying it, and he's not just saying it. That young man has an anointing on his life that will reach people that we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
You're right, and you're very, very right. And I'm just, everybody that will watch this, if there's any radio program directors out there or whatever, man, please play Ray Sean's song because it won't only bless your listeners, it will bless you. I'm telling you, it really will.
Now, my question is, how did you get started? From the very beginning, how did you, because I've heard your name for years, and the keys caught my attention, like this name.
Yeah.
Is that really your name? Is that really your name?
No, it's not. Let me tell you, and I'm glad Robert said that. My name is Sean Willis, okay? So, but I felt that, and let me go back to why I changed it for production purposes. Right. I majored in marketing at Southeastern Louisiana University when I went to college. Yeah. So the marketing side of me started kicking in, and I'm like, you know, Sean Willis is not memorable like that. It's just a regular common name.
Right.
So I was sitting there brainstorming, like, what would be a cool name that people can remember when they hear it? Right. And I was like, okay, let's keep Sean because Sean is cool. Yeah. And my government name is SHAWN. Right. But what I did was I said, let's make it where it's 4 letters in the first name, 4 letters in the second name. Good. So I was like, let's go SEANKEYS because I'm mainly a keyboard player. I started on keys. So I was like, hey, let's do, and it was catchy. I told my wife, she was like, oh, I like that. And I told a couple of friends, they're like, man, that's kind of dope. So yeah, so then there came Sean Keys, and then everybody it just catchy. It's catchy. Like you said, Robert, it catches your ear when you hear it, and it's like, oh, okay, so who is this guy? Yes. You know, but I started, let me go back to when I started playing. I started playing at age 5. Wow. In my godfather's church. I grew up in Kenner, which is okay. So if anybody knows where New Orleans International,
my family lives there.
Okay.
Richardson's Mortuary.
Yeah, man, come on. Yes, indeed. I'm very familiar.
The Richardson.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Absolutely.
Superintendent
Wait,
Richardson.
did you just
Yeah.
Those are my cousins. Colonel Richardson
Wow.
was my first cousin.
wait, Robert?
Wow.
Did you just refer to a mortuary?
Well, they owned a bunch of them.
Okay, praise
Yes,
the
they
Lord.
do. Yeah. Look. I'm gonna tell you. When people go home to be with the Lord, they call Richardsons.
Yes, they do.
I'm telling you, it's a down here. That's the place. That's the place.
Okay, I'm gonna let you finish your story, but I just had to stop when he said that. Because, see, rumor had it that you came up with Sean Keys because there was a woman in church one time and the preacher was preaching too low and she took out her keys and started jingling them. And you was like, that's it, Keys.
Right.
You know, that's what I had heard. But now I'm glad that you
might have had a little bit to do with it, too. But, man, I grew up in Kenner, which is where New Orleans International Airport is. So when you fly into New Orleans, that's actually Kenner.
Yep.
That's where I grew up. I grew up listening to planes fly over my head every day, all day. So my godfather's church was in my neighborhood, literally 2 blocks from where my mom and dad lived,
right?
Where they live still, as a matter of fact. And you know, I literally used to walk to church. I started playing drums first. My mom and dad were really active in ministry, so they had keys to the church. So when they had to go do kind of clerical stuff and stuff at the church, running off programs, when they used to have programs at church, I remember that. So my mom used to go run off programs and stuff, be ready for Sunday. I would always run out of the office, go into the sanctuary, and go start playing on the drums. So my mom and dad started noticing that I could play a little bit. So they started letting me play for the Sunbeam Choir and stuff, you know, so I was playing. So all of a sudden, it was one of those nights when mom was running off programs for service, and I ran up to the Hammond. Now, I don't know how at 5 years old, I guess because I watched enough, I learned how to start it and everything. So I'm sitting there and I'm just kind of one fingering it and everything. And my mom said one night, I actually started playing the melody to a song.
Wow.
I started just kind of figuring it out. So, you know, as she would go and do, you know, the program for the church, I would keep going up there and just messing around with it. So there's one particular Sunday. Now, granted, I hadn't taken any lessons. It was straight up a gift from God.
Wow.
One particular Sunday, the musician for that Sunday, she got a flat. She couldn't make it. So the deacons had noticed how I had been up there around the instruments and just kind of playing and stuff.
Developing.
They were like, "Hey, let's Sean get on the organ. He can play." And man, literally, I played for the entire service that Sunday, and that kind of sparked me playing. So from there, you know, my mom and dad just started investing and sewing into my gift. They would buy me keyboards, buy me, you know, drum sets. You know, they would keep buying different little things just to keep my appetite, you know, wet for music. And man, when I got to college, I started kind of doing more of a traveling with artists kind of thing. I wound up being a musical director for an artist that used to sing with John P. Key. And so we started traveling and doing some things. And as we were doing that, we were working on a project. And as we were in the studio, they started asking me different stuff like, "Hey, man, what would you do right here? How you feel about this?" And so the band was like, "Hey, man, you know you actually producing, right?" I'm like, "Huh?" So I was actually kind of producing without even knowing I was producing.
Wow.
You know, they were asking my opinions on what should they do with the vocals right here? What would you do with the music right here? And then we would formulate the music for the records and come up with different things to do. So in 99, I launched out and just started my own production company, Smooth Tunes Productions. And that came from the nickname they gave me while I was with the group. They used to call me Smooth. That a lot of my old friends, they still call me that. And so from there, man, I just started kind of sharpening my skills, working with people from the neighborhood that wanted to do, you know, songs and stuff like that. And man, God has brought me to this place now, man, and it's just I'm just happy and honored to be used, man. It's amazing, bro. It really is amazing.
Well, brother, I don't want to beef with you, but people are starting to text me and said and want questions asked. So you done sparked the folks to the point that they said if I can't get on social media, I'm gonna text them personally. So here's the first question.
All right.
Who have you heard lately that has just totally blown you away? Singer-wise?
Yes. Whoo, Man, it's a couple of people, man. I think probably as of recent, and she's not a newcomer to anything, but man, I'm just floored by Kiara Shear. Every time I hear her sing, I mean, it's just amazing what she's able to do. Vocally, she is just amazing.
Yes, she is.
I mean, just amazing.
So you know, I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this: Is this pre-married Kiera or post-married Kiera?
It's both. It's both. And I actually had a chance to play for her a few years ago. She came down to Hammond, Louisiana, for a concert release, a CD release we did with the Showers, and she was one of the special guests. So yeah, man. I mean, you know, pre and post, she's always been a favorite of mine, and you know, hopefully one day I'll get a chance to work with her. But man, she is phenomenal, just what she's able, and she's not the only one. I mean, you know, it's always people like Kim Burrell. And, who I think is the vocal Bible. You know, it's just so many people, man, that I really admire as singers out there. But the one that popped in my head immediately was Kiara.
Now, my question is, do you prefer traditional gospel or contemporary? Just your preference.
Right. Actually, I don't really have a preference. I guess I get called a lot to do contemporary, more like the worship stuff. But I was so glad when my brother James Mabel told me I need a churchy record, because that's my roots. That's what I come out of.
That's why I asked.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, either one of them. But if I had to pick one, man, I don't know if I had to pick one. The churchy stuff is really like my heart. That's what I came up doing.
That's
you know,
what
I came up
to you.
playing.
Sticks to you.
So check this out. I have an artist in the Louisiana area, and we have tons of listeners in the Louisiana area. When we start touring again, and COVID stopped us from doing the GOD radio tours, and everything, we're gonna come to your city, and, and I'm a roll up. I'm gonna roll up to your studio, and before I come up to your studio, I'm gonna go get some chicken.
Yeah.
So I need to know what chicken stop should I go to that's gonna get me in the door at your studio.
Man, there's a place down here called Brothers.
Okay.
It's two. Okay, if you want full chicken, like chicken leg, chicken wing.
No, I just want to know whatever chicken that's gonna get me in the studio when I come. You know.
It's either one or two. It's gonna be Brothers, or it's gonna be a place called Manchu in New Orleans.
Manchu?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna be knocking on your door. Bruh, I got some Manchu out here.
Right.
Manchu, I'll tell you.
Man, look, those Manchu chicken wings in New Orleans. My God.
Are they Chinese? Are they Chinese people?
I think so. But they've been around forever, man. And it's like they do fried chicken wings and drumettes and stuff. And every party in New Orleans, if you don't have some Manchu chicken, you're losing.
Now, is it like salted pepper chicken?
It's like it's fried, and the thing about the Manchu chicken, it has this kick. It's got that cayenne pepper in there.
Yeah, that's what we call it. Here it's called Royal Mandarin.
We have
that's and they call it salted pepper chicken.
Man,
Everybody got it.
Everybody got it.
They got the best MSG you ever had.
Right.
I don't think they cook with MSG. Now, you getting all these number one on billboards. What was your first number one?
My first number one single was Keela Richardson, the one that's in the background back there. My first number one album, though, and I had actually forgotten about it, and I need to get my plaque for that one, was actually with the Showers. The Showers family. Matter of fact, that album, hold on, right there. The Showers, The Journey, that album right there. I did 4 songs out of the 8 on that project, along with Tasha Page Lockhart was the vocal production person for that record, and Bruce Robinson Jr. was the other producer on that record. And that record actually went number 1 on Billboard for sales. So that was my first number 1 album, and my first number 1 single was Keela Richardson, So Good.
Wow, and you got hooked up with them through Uncle G?
Yeah.
How did y'all get together?
Yeah, through Uncle G. The Showers, I've been knowing them since, gosh, I mean, since I was in college at Southeastern. That's how I met them. So
Right.
it's been some years, man. I've known them for years. I feel like we kind of grew up together
Mm-hmm.
because I've been knowing them since college.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, that God's blessed me. First #1 album with the Showers, first #1 single with Keela Richardson, man. I'm so honored and grateful that God is using me, in this season, man.
Okay, brother. Now this is what I call business on 101
Mm-hmm.
with brother Keys.
Right.
Um, so my question to you is, what is your favorite station to drop your music on before everybody else get it?
Man, God One Radio.
All right,
Because we
man.
get them. We
Yeah.
we get them all.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean, come on.
yeah, one of the things that we've been very blessed to do, and I have to shout out our program director, Evangel, is that she literally makes space for the independents,
Absolutely.
as
That's
well
very true.
as those that we really know.
Yes.
But what I love about what our program director allows us to do is she allows us to have these unorthodox interviews and don't require us to follow a time schedule because
Mm-hmm.
people really want to get to know who you are. There are a lot of
Absolutely.
artists that are tapping into our shows and they're going to say, well, how can I get with Brother Keys and how can I connect? So that's going to be my next question. How can
Yeah.
people connect to you and what is your acceptance process to work with people?
Yeah. So basically, let's start with how you can get in contact with me. So you can reach me on my email is smoothtunesmusic@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I use for inquiries about production. So smoothtunes with an S music@gmail.com. Also social media on Instagram at the smoothest DASMOOTHEST. Facebook is Sean Keys, and Twitter is Smooth Tunes Prod, PROD. They wouldn't let me get the whole word production in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's what it is on Twitter. So my process is basically, if you email me, be sure to have something that I can hear that you've done. So if you've already released music, send me some links of the things that you've already released, maybe on Apple Music or Spotify or something like that. Or if you have not, if you have something with you singing in church or singing at a concert somewhere or some type of video or you singing just in your house, because I usually use that to gauge whether or not I can work with you based on what your abilities are
Right.
or what you're capable of doing. So that's basically how my process works, and then we'll have a conversation about, and here's the critical and key point that I always do. We'll have a conversation about what your goals are.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like to partner with people that have like minds and like spirits like me. If you don't feel that your ministry is for the masses and you're not trying to reach the masses with what you're doing,
Right.
then we probably wouldn't be a good fit.
Right.
You feel me? Because it's like I don't want to just do stuff, just to impact your just inner circle.
Yeah, mom and
Because
dad.
yeah, exactly. I don't, I feel like, my ministry, God has blessed me with a ministry that's for the masses. And we want to change lives. We want to bless people with music.
Come
Man.
on.
Music is such a powerful thing, man. And think about this pandemic that God is allowing us to come out of finally. Although it's not all the way over, but at least he's allowing us to come out a little bit. Music has really allowed people to get through this thing, man.
Medicine.
As it has with so many other things in people's lives. Music is so important. So I feel like every person that sets out to do this should do it in some capacity of wanting it to be to the masses.
Right.
Because, your message needs to reach everybody. You don't know who that song that God's given you is for. So you don't want to harbor it and hold on to it or not put the necessary money behind it to get it to reach the masses, and that's what I'm about.
Okay, here's the biggest thing. I'm gonna drop this in. This is the money question.
Yes, sir.
An artist, brand new artist, comes into the game. Say, for instance, like a Ray Sean.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell them would need to be their overall budget to start and be a player in this game? Not just with you, but in general.
Well, in general, I mean, you got to think about it. There are, and this is how I tell all of the artists that I work with. It's so many people out here that's trying to do this. What is going to separate you from everybody else?
Mm-hmm.
And if you want, or if you feel that God has called you to do this, where there's vision, there has to also be provision.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have to have the wherewithal and the means to invest into your vision. So the main thing is, the number can vary, not to give a particular number, but you got to think about it. You have to invest thousands into this because, you have to not only once you've done the record, you have to go about making sure the record gets heard.
Yes.
So you have to hire a radio promoter, somebody that is, that has a great track record. That's just not going to take your money. That's not just going to, say, oh yeah, I'll work your record and you giving them money every month and nothing's happening,
right.
But you also have to have the patience to know that gospel music moves a little bit slower than R&B,
right,
and stuff like that. Like you can take a R&B record and work it 4 or 5, 6 months, and it's in the top 10 on Billboard. Gospel records take at least a year,
right,
do that. So I share that with all of my artists. But you have to have thousands to So I tell them, please understand, because it's one thing to do a record. But it's one thing to do a record and not promote it, because then like my Uncle G says, you have the best song that nobody's ever heard.
True.
Yeah.
So not to put a particular number, a solid number on it, but you have to think in terms of, I have to have thousands to do this.
Yeah, and I always share with artists that you're looking at a investment of anywhere between $30,000 and $50,000 for a single to literally get it out in the game. And there's different ways to go about it.
Right.
One of the things about it, there's an organic push, and then there's that bulk push. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just about teaching and learning. But the biggest thing is that you want to get with people with integrity. And I tell people all the time, and you want to get with people you like.
That's it.
And
Absolutely.
I love, Brother Sean, this is the first time we actually talked, but I love just your energy.
Yes.
Because
he's honest too.
Yeah, and it's almost like talking to you says, this is a good one. You know what I'm saying? This is a good brother. This is a brother that really fights for the best out of an artist, and that's a good feel, because there are so many people out there that just straight up hustling.
Right.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And let me say this too. And it's I'm glad you said that. I appreciate it very much. And every artist has always inbox me or text me like, man, you really ride with us. I'm like, man, I told y'all from Giddy Up to Whoa, I'm probably one of the only that I've seen that really does it. Like, you post something on social media, I'm gonna repost it. We talking about your project coming out or your single that I've done. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna repost it. I'm gonna be calling you like, why you not posting? It's like, and I know a lot of cats don't do that, but I think that's one of the things with me that people love so much. I ride with them from the beginning to the very end. Like, and I'm gonna show them what to do, as far as social media to keep your name buzzing out there. You can go on my Instagram now. You'll see everybody that I worked with. I'm always like just pushing and posting about them. And, if they post something about even being on a radio interview, I'm reposting that. Hey, check out my girl, Kim Person. Right. She's going to be on God One Radio. Right. Tune into the YouTube channel. Right. So, I just think that it just all, we're in this together, and, I'm hungry just like they are. So I want to see them win, because when they win, I win. When I win, they win. Right. So yeah, man, I appreciate you saying that.
You sound a lot like, you remind me of Cedric Thompson.
Hey, man, CT is my guy, man. I like CT,
he's working on my project. But
I like CT, man. That's my guy there.
Your heart and your soul, and you look like my brother David Frazier. Y'all favor each other.
Hey, look, and look, I know Dave, man. Me and Dave were on an interview a couple months ago. Amber Shaw out of Houston did I think it was called with something about a conversation with the number ones, and it was myself, Lucius Hoskins, and David Frazier when he had that song with Ricky Dillard. And Yeah, David's a cool guy, man. Heck of a writer, bro.
You favor him.
So here's the big question. We've been talking. You have this infectious smile and energy. So I'm gonna ask the question. You seem to be a very happy gentleman. Let's talk about the woman in your life that makes you happy.
Yes,
Because she got your beard glowing and everything else.
She was setting up the camera earlier.
Let's give her some shout outs because it seems like there's some goodness that you've been blessed with.
Absolutely, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. My wife is so amazing. Shout out to Ashley Willis. Man, she holds it down for me. She actually does all of my my admin work for my production company. So she does all my contracts and everything, man. My wife is, and she has a master's in business. Look how God worked that out.
Wow.
So man, my wife is amazing. She's the mother. She's a wife. We have 4 kids. Micah, who's my 17-year-old that's in high school, budding basketball star, and my son Nathan, who's also a basketball star, and he's a musician, but he just don't want fool with it right now, but he can play too. Nathan, and then my 2 girls, my princesses, Sydney, who's going to be 10 in August, and Aubrey, who's 4 years old. Man, she does a wonderful job with all the kids and just making sure I'm happy and, man, just running the house and also holding out her own job in corporate America too. So, yeah, man, that's my superwoman, man. She's phenomenal. And she's fine.
Well, see, there you go. That's what I look at. He just smiled. He's a hallelujah. So, brother, I appreciate everything that you've shared.
I appreciate you, brother.
So many people are on the line. You got Shauna D. You got Sonia Richardson. You got Lakia. All these folks are online. Check you out and say he dropping knowledge. So we want to thank you so much. Robert Earl Dean, any final questions?
I just thank you for just being such a kind and humble person. When people reach out to you, you're very receptive, and that says a lot about your character. And God has so much more for you because of that. You have the talent, you have all that, but God looks at integrity. He looks at the heart of man, and you have a great heart, so be encouraged.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for having me, man. It's been an honor. I love anytime anybody invites me to talk about what God has allowed me to do, man. So I'm honored. Thank you guys very much, man.
Well, in tribute to your success, I'm gonna play this Negro right here. Just to set it off. I'm gonna follow him up with a couple of more. I'm sure James Mabel and everything, but I gotta send you off with this. This is none other than Sean Keys, our dude, all the way from
I think
Louisiana, right?
He's from Louisiana.
Louisiana, and this one right here is a hot track that he has produced, and he's behind. This is He Kept Me, Rashawn Anderson, right here on GOD Radio 1.com.
Ooh. Oh.